Hello, good morning, Empower Tribe. How are you doing today? It's been a while since I made a video, and today I'm actually doing the video on my i iMac computer, and I don't know, I'm looking a little gray, but hopefully you guys find this okay. It's a little, I try to add as many light as possible, but I thought I'd give it a try since I have my MacBook. I hope your year is starting off strong. 2022. It's very, very cold in Minnesota, and so I'm just like wearing my fluffy sweater. Um, really cold, negative degrees, and um, we are hopefully having a strong start to the year. Whatever you have on your vision board, I hope you are working towards it. Without further ado, we want to go into the Book of Awakening by Mark Nippo. Very great book. If this is your first time on my channel, thank you so much for visiting. I hope you have yourself a great start to the year. And on my channel, we kind of share inspirational videos to inspire you, motivate you, and hopefully this book would kind of bring you some inspiration too as well. So without further ado, let's go into today's passage. Today's passage is titled Burning the Wrapper. From the beginning, the key to renewal has been shedding, the casting off of old skin. The Polynesians say the world began with Taura, their name for the Creator, woke to find himself growing inside a shell. He stretched and broke the shell, and the earth was created. Taura kept growing though, and after a time found himself inside another shell. Again, he stretched and broke the shell, and this time the moon was created. Again, Taura kept growing, and again he found himself contained by yet another shell. This time, the breaking forth created the stars. In this ancient story, the Polynesians have carried for us the wisdom that we each grow in this life, by breaking successive shells, that the peace of God within each of us stretches until there's no room to be. And then the world as we know it must be broken so that we can be born anew. In this way, life becomes a living of who we are until that form of self can no longer hold us. And us, like Taura, in his shell, we must break the forms that contain us in order to birth our way into the next self. This is how we shed our many ways of seeing the world. Not that any are false, but that each serves its purpose for a time until we grow and they no longer serve us. I have lived through many selves, the first of me so eager to be great, to set things ablaze, shunned everything that was ordinary. I hunted the burn of a champion's hip and wanted to be a great musician too, to be famous and extraordinary. But as I grew, the notion of fame left me lonely in the night. Thrones, no matter how pretty, have only room for one. The second of me wanted to be covered by waves, inhale the stars and move like a song. Now I wanted to be the great music itself. But to be the great thing was still as lonely as it was magnificent. The third of me gave up on greatness. It was how I let others draw close. I asked more questions, not really interested in answers, but more the face below the face, about to speak. And then during cancer there came yet another self there, bent and distorted in the hospital chrome as the late sun flooded my pillow. I was dead in the chrome, alive on the pillow, a quiet breath between dead and alive at once. And oddly, it did not scare, for I felt the pulse of life in the quiet breath, and the place to which I transcended is here. Almost dying with another shell I had to break. It had led me to realize that each self unfolds, just one concentric womb en route to another, each encompassing the last. I would believe in arrival, but for all the arrivals I've broken on the way. So today's passage is a little bit longer. Basically, I think it comes down to the shells that we occupy and the many shells we occupy throughout our lives. I can recall my goals changing over the years. As we're setting our goals for this year, for 2022, or already acting on our goals, it's kind of good to really think about how far you've come and how many shells you've broken. I remember my first shell that I was trying to break out of was, from getting out of my childhood home where my mom was very narcissistic, abusive, and it wasn't serving me. I was not happy. I guess for me, my search was always to be free. I want to be free. I want to have the freedom to be myself. I don't want to answer to anybody. And I want to feel good. I want to be happy. I guess all of us are searching for happiness, purpose, And then later part in my life, I wanted to build a happy home for myself. And that's why I got married really young. I got married at 17. And I had 3 kids. And my identity at that time was all about being a mom, all about my children. And, through that shell, I find that I lost myself. I think every woman can identify with this. When your kids come into your life and it seems to consume you, there is nothing wrong. You love your children. I love my children. But it seems like you give so much of yourself away that you tend to lose yourself in that motherhood. And I think it's important, as I grew out of that shell, to explore other things besides identifying myself as only a mother. And then later part, I realized that I wanted more in my life besides being a mom. I wanted a career. I wanted a life for myself. I wanted to be independent. I don't want to be dependent on my husband or my ex-husband. And so I decided that I needed the financial stability that I can depend on that is not from anybody else. And so for many years, I worked towards searching for the career that really fulfills me. I love the idea of wearing a suit and going to work, and I did that. I was successful because I worked really hard. I was in marketing and advertising, and then later I met my husband, and I was in banking for a while, and then it was having a career is not enough. I wanted to climb the corporate ladder. I wanted to move up and feel even more successful. And the goal was always to be up on top. And I would work really hard, still maintaining my ethics, maintaining my morals, and be true to who I am. But through my corporate life, I find that I slowly lost myself because I was so immersed in it, and it wasn't really me. My heart was always to give and with no agenda to serve. But obviously being in the corporate world, there's always agendas, and there's always, goals and different things like that. And it's very competitive. And after being in the corporate world for many years, it's very tiring. It took a mental toll on me. And then I broke out of that shell, and then I wanted a simpler life because I find that, being up on top, there really wasn't anything, just like Mark Nepo was mentioning that, you got all the way up there and you realize that it's emptiness. It's like that's all there is, and there's no fulfillment in that. I think what I've learned is it's not about where you want to be, but really embracing what you learn through the journey. For me, I feel like through my different shells that I grew out of, I got to know more and more about what my inner core, my inner being is really searching for and thriving for. And I think that just living a very, semi-calm, peaceful life, there's nothing wrong in that, being content. But I find that for most of us, when we are faced with challenges, it really helps us grow. But most importantly, it helps us get to know who we are and what we truly want for ourselves. And through my journey, I definitely realized that material possessions will not bring you happiness. They will not fill the void in your life. And status is great, but it's just external. End of the day, I feel like we want to go home and feel great about ourselves and who we are and what we have accomplished. Most importantly, feel that inside. There is a lot of things that can be proof on the outside, like a promotion, a job, material possessions. But end of the day, if you don't believe in yourself and what you have accomplished and really feel satisfied that it has defined you, then maybe that's not the answer for what we think. And most of the time, what we think are the answers to our own fulfillment it's not really the answer. It's just like me, you know, I spent years and years doing that, and it's gotten me nowhere. And so I hope this passage encourage you to really dive deep and really look at your goals this year, and really look at all the different things. I feel like there's nothing wrong with wanting material possessions, because I love things, I love pretty things, and I want things too. But that can't be the sole answer to fulfillment, to you feeling great about yourself, because those things, you can't take it to your grave, right? You can't bring it along with you everywhere you go. End of the day, you have to feel good inside, and knowing without all these things, the external proof, that you truly believe, truly believe that you are capable, and truly believe that you are that powerful person that you truly are. Because many times when we are stripped off of all those things, we stop believing in ourselves. We start doubting ourselves. It brings down self-esteem. That's true for me. And end of the day, I still have to go back to diving deep within myself to really believe that without those things, I am still successful. I am still the same person, and I'm still capable. And I think that we all need to be reminded that as much as we want to seek external things as proof of who we are, we need to truly believe that without those things, we are still capable. And many times we doubt ourselves when things don't go our way, but that's not necessarily true. So I want to challenge you this time to really look into your vision and goals for this year, all the things that you pin on your vision board, and think about how you can align yourself to those things, but not let those things define who you are. You define who you are, and all those things are just bonuses. Instead of putting that in front of as proof of who you are. Does that make sense? I really hope so. Well, if you have any questions, I know we went deep into this topic, but I think it's important to start the year strong. And if you're struggling already, maybe take a deep dive inside. What else? What is it that is preventing you? What is causing that friction of you moving forward? Is it because you don't believe in yourself? You don't believe you deserve it? We all have our own demons that we're fighting, me included. And every day I have to remind myself that I am bigger than anything that's outside of me, and no person, place, or thing can take that away from me. And I hope that you believe in your power. You're wonderful. You're made just the way you are. Do not change for anybody. Do not let the world define you. You define who you are. But most importantly, you need to know who you truly are. Well, I hope this served you. If you have any questions, please drop your comment below. Subscribe, like. I would love to have more subscribers this year. Subscribers this year. It's my ultimate goal, and I hope that my message is serving everyone. And if you do like my channel, please share too. Other people might find value in this. Until our next video, you be wonderful. Bye now.